So, we finally got an announcement from Todd Howard about Starfield recently. It comes out on September 6th, 2023. They will reveal more in a presentation called Starfield Direct, set for June 11th. The question remains the same. Is it actually ready to be released to the public? They did delay it from its original date of November 11th, 2022, to what they said was sometime in the first half of 2023. With this announcement, it is clearly being pushed back to the year's second half. Now, I'm all for Bethesda to work out the kinks and issues the game may have. Although some games have experienced multiple delays and subsequently turned out well, usually when a game gets a second delay, the developers might not be too confident in the finished product. I think Bethesda may have been overly optimistic when they announced the first delay, pushing the game back to the first half of the year. While I'm not too excited about the game, given Bethesda's history of dealing with bugs in their past games, the idea of Starfield is pretty neat when you think about it. It is basically Skyrim, but in space. You get to create your character and choose your class. You will be able to explore different planets and explore and farm for materials for various things like your spaceship and whatnot. You will be able to join different types of factions and complete quests with them. I mean, what's not to like? The following are some positives and negatives that I have come up with regarding the Starfield delay. On the positive side, the delay in Starfield could mean they are taking the time to squash the bugs seriously. They probably realized this was their last opportunity to repair the damage done to their reputation when they released Fallout 76 in 2018. Everyone remembers what a terrible launch it had. Bugs and glitches plagued the game. One of the most notable bugs was the duplication glitch. This glitch allowed players to create unlimited copies of items, sell them for caps, or trade them with other players for valuable items. This glitch significantly impacted the game's economy as it flooded the market with rare items and rendered the in-game currency virtually worthless. Another major bug was the infinite loading screen, which occurred when players tried to enter certain game areas such as buildings or caves. This bug made it impossible to progress through the game and forced players to restart their game or wait for the loading screen to resolve itself eventually. Fallout 76 was also plagued with server disconnects and crashes, which caused players to lose progress, items, and even entire character saves. These issues made the game nearly unplayable for some and frustrated many players who had spent hours exploring the game's world and building their characters. Therefore, it is probably a good thing that they delayed Starfield for the second time in order to avoid repeating the same mistake again. We might get an almost bug-free game rather than the broken mess they have provided in their previous games. Another good reason for delaying Starfield is that it won't have to compete with another Bethesda title, Redfall. I haven't been following that game closely, but I heard it was coming out in May, the same month Starfield was set to be released. It is actually wise from a marketing perspective to have both games released in different months, so they don't have to compete with each other. It is also decent on the consumer side, so gamers won't have to choose one over the other if they want to play both and on a tight budget. Now on to the negatives the delay can bring. One negative is that they are still using the creation engine. It has been notorious for bugs and glitches in previous titles. It has become a staple for Bethesda game studios. Many in the gaming community expect some things not to work correctly when playing a Bethesda game. Some even find the quirkiness of a few bugs endearing. Having said that, I believe gamers should expect a smoother gaming experience in 2023. It is understandable to have a few bugs in a game upon release, but given Bethesda's history, it doesn't give me much confidence. To be frank with you, they should have developed a new gaming engine. While Bethesda confirmed they upgraded the creation engine, and I acknowledge that it is easier to develop a game with their experience, rather than creating another engine from scratch or switching to a different engine altogether. However, in light of the vast multitude of problems they have experienced with the creation engine, I think it would be better to change to something different. No matter how you feel about CD Projekt Red, after the tumultuous launch of Cyberpunk 2077, they decided to switch from their proprietary Red engine to Unreal Engine 5. Only time will tell whether it was the right decision, but at the very least, they are open to taking risks. It just seems like Bethesda isn't willing to take any chances. My second concern is that Procedural Planets in Starfield might become repetitive over time. As the game is played more and more, the Procedural Planets may lack enough variation to keep the game fresh. As a result, players may lose interest quickly as they are likely to experience the same content repeatedly. I foresee a scenario where gamers could get bored of gameplay after only a few hours. When I heard we could explore 1,000 planets, it reminded me of the time when Todd Howard said 16 times the detail when describing Fallout 76, and we all seen how that turned out at launch. Bethesda needs to create a diverse set of worlds with distinct characteristics and design elements to keep players engaged with the game. This will address this issue and keep players engaged. Additionally, they should focus on providing various activities and objectives for players to complete to make the game enjoyable. Yet from what we have seen so far, it doesn't look like there will be wide varieties. In past gameplay presentations, we have been shown 2 planets that appear acceptable at first, but when you dig deeper, you will discover nothing specifically remarkable about them. The footage they showed of the planets mainly was barren wastelands with a lab facility centered in the middle. Although I have to admit their new metropolitan city, New Atlantis, looks rather impressive despite the lack of graphical fidelity. Overall, I hope they will show more game footage shortly, easing my concerns. So, do you think Starfield is ready to be released in September? We will find out soon enough. I'm all for Bethesda making a comeback. Who knows? It could exceed my expectations and become the game of the decade. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you heard. Click the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload my next video. I hope you have a nice day or evening wherever you are. Jay Rambles out.